Well, it's time to get to know J'Neanne a little bit better. This is where we ask non-financial questions just to get to know her personality some more. So, J'Neanne, I'm curious, what is a seemingly random subject that you're like an expert at, or at least that you know a lot about?
Well, since I ran track and cross country in college, I was a competitive athlete for a long time. So I was always interested. My major was pre-med. So I was always interested in exercise physiology, anatomy, things like that, studies, kinesiology. So my avocation for a while was as a trainer because I was training myself and then people were asking me to help them train. And so it's just rather amusing because I've been through a lot of different, have had some surgeries. You go in and you talk to the doctor and you're asking all these questions and they just look at you and say, "Are you in the medical field?" And I'm like, "No, I know enough to be dangerous, but
There you go.
but I know how to rehab and I know how to be fit." So, it's just one of those, it's just fun to do that. So I've helped a lot of people train. These days, I'm just happy, and I tell my clients this, you just need to keep moving. So whatever
Right.
it is that makes you happy, walking, swimming, whatever it is, you got to keep doing it until you drop. Because otherwise you're going to have a lot of health issues because the body was meant to move. So it's just funny when people ask me that I start giving them, okay, do this, here's this, here's why.
Yeah.
And
Or do you get into like tracking macros and stuff like that on the nutrition side, or do you get really into like heavy weights versus light weights and just working every little muscle? Or
well, it's really interesting because when you do look at the just big pharma and the drug side of what's happened in our country, I mean, there are studies after studies after studies that show the most effective way to deal with adult onset diabetes, so type 2 diabetes, is exercise and diet. A lot of people don't want that answer.
right.
So pharma makes a lot of money. But that's actually, there are many studies that prove that. It's just that's not the answer that a lot of people get. So yeah, macros, I try to keep it simple. I mean, there's so many programs out there.
Oh yeah.
Probably one of the most successful I've heard used is Weight Watchers because it's just learning to eat properly. People get on all kinds of jags with diets, and I'm like, you just need to eat enough protein, fat. There's nothing wrong with fats, the right kind of fats. You need to eat properly.
Yeah, take in less than you put out. So
Right. So if you're not moving, then you're not, you have metabolic rate, but if you're not moving, then your metabolic rate's going to be probably slower.
right. Yeah.
So you have
The
to,
two things are very closely related. So.
Yeah. So I try not to get people too spizzed up on things because there's enough of that out there. It's just being more self-aware of what you need to do. And honestly, you don't have to be perfect. It's just keep moving so that, physically, psychologically, emotionally.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to joke all the time when I was running a lot that I was running because then I could eat Rice Krispie treats.
That's right.
And then, kids come along and I'm like, I'm working out, so I'm not homicidal.
Your motivation's changed.
Yes.
A guy next to me in the gym the other day had on a "I work out for donuts" shirt on. So.
It's a trade-off.
You'd appreciate that. Yeah, exactly.
Trade-off.
The gym Connie and I go to has a Rita's ice cream and shave ice place right next door. So every time, especially in the summer, we get out of the gym, we look, and you have to walk right by it to get back to the car, and you're like, "Oh my, this is just cruel."
It's torture.
This is torture. It may be good for the gym to have those kinds of places next door. I don't know if the marketing works one way, but then people coming out of the gym are like, no, I can't do it. So the marketing doesn't work the other direction.
Exactly. But,
stuff.
I mean, as you get older, I mean, everybody that's over 60 knows this, or women over, after menopause, it's brutal to try to lose the weight. So you really do need to kind of keep it in mind, that you got to keep moving. That's what we were made to do.
If you haven't hit that target age yet, get going now because it's only going to get harder.
And weightlifting is the best thing. I mean, I've always been an endurance athlete, but weightlifting is really equally important. because muscles are your engine, for calories.
Don't ignore them, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, cool. So we can get financial advice and then go see J'Neanne, and she'll also pump you up. And it's a 2-for-1 deal, right? So,
yeah.
But that's important. That's kind of cool as an element to your financial planning to also be able to cover that softer side with people and help them also recognize some of the other things that are going to help them lead a fruitful retirement life. It's not just the numbers, but these other things too are important. And so that extra little specialty you have is kind of a secret sauce to your planning, I bet.
Well, and what I tell people this all the time is health is wealth. You can have all the money in the world, but if you can't get out of your chair, or if you can't go do some of the things you want to do because you have this ailment or that ailment or this whatever, what's the purpose for the money?
Yeah.
So it's not like you can look at it. Well, you could, but it wouldn't be very exciting.
Yeah.
But, it really is, the emotional health, physical health is just every bit as much a part of overall wealth.
Yep. Great points. Well, thank you, J'Neanne. Appreciate it. And that's getting to know J'Neanne Theus a little bit better. Thanks for joining us.